Hi, I'm going to be doing another Thanksgiving side dish. This one's a little bit sweet. I'm kind of a spin on a sweet potato casserole, which is just so yummy, but filled with so much sugar and fat. And it's just more than I can tolerate. It's something I've always enjoyed, the sweet potatoes and the marshmallows on top. But we're going to skip all that. And today we're going to do a casserole, but we're going to make it with sweet potatoes and with Granny Smith apples. And then we're going to do a pecan topping on it. So we kind of still get the crunchy, we get the sweet and the flavors of the sweet potatoes, but this will be a much healthier version. So, and it actually looks really pretty as well. So if you don't have one of these, this is a mandolin. I use this all the time. And about halfway through, you're going to see that I'm going to use this little part here to help me slice. So we're just going to go ahead and actually put this piece on. And then we will use this. There we go. So if you can see, if you push this back, it exposes the pins. That's kind of hard to see, but see when I pull it back, see the pins pull out? So now I can take those and put them on there. There we go. So now, instead of being so hard to do, it's actually holding it. I will tell you that sweet potato is one of the hardest ones. It's a little bit harder veggie. We're going to do the apples here in a minute. We've got plenty of those. Now these apples will be much easier. They're not as hard as a sweet potato. Yeah, they're much softer. So you're going to find they just slice so much easier. Now if you happen to have one of those fancy things that happens to slice and peel and core your apples, you can do that. Our apples and sweet potatoes, I did already peel them, and you can see my apple that on here again. Just pick this up. We may not even need all these apples. I may put some of these for snack tomorrow. Okay, you can get a couple more slices here. There we go. Okay, so now we've got, those are Granny Smith apples. And the reason we use those is because they are just a little bit tart. So they kind of give us a nice complement to the sweet of the sweet potato. And then all we're literally going to do is we're going to alternate these. So we're going to just put one apple. See how we're making these layers? Okay. And that's literally how we're going to do, and we're going to go into our dish here, and then we're going to lay that out. Now I have, this is a small, if you can see how small this is, this dish is really small. Here's the size of my hand. So it is about a 6x4 dish. My normal size baking dish, I could actually sit these upright in that. And then when I make this for Thanksgiving, and I will be tripling this recipe and doing that, so that'll be about 4 to 5 apples. They're going to depend on how big they are, and 2 to 3 sweet potatoes. So we're just going to continue to make these little stacks, and then we're going to put them in. What I really like about this as well is I like how pretty it looks. It's a very pretty dessert to make, or side dish, however you want to look at that, as well as it's really good, and it's really good for you. So just continue to alternate those. Whoops, gotta get the sweet potato. And we're gonna make a second row here and spread those out. And actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, there we go. That spreads much better that way. Okay, so put this in here. There we go. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay, this is not my normal pan that I do this with. So just to kind of let you see what these look like, so you can see how they're altered. They're gonna look really pretty. Again, in a bigger pan where they can all sit up, and I will post a picture of that as well so that you can see it. And we just want to kind of pop these sweet potatoes up here a little bit so you can kind of see the different layers. See how that looks pretty? Okay, and then what we're gonna do, so in this small pan, that was only about 1 apple and about a half a sweet potato is what went in here. Okay, and then I just have some melted butter that we're just gonna pour over this. It's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter. If you happen to have a lemon to squeeze, that is great. I'm doing about a tablespoon here in the lid, and I'm doing it that way so I can kind of splash it and mix it in. You could have also stirred that in your butter if you wanted to. The next thing I'm gonna do is take just straight cinnamon here, and just gonna lightly sprinkle this over the top like that. Now, today I am using coconut sugar, which is a lot lower in carbs. You'll see that it only has 8 grams of carbs for 2 teaspoons. Okay, you can also use a monk fruit, swerve, whatever you want if you don't want to do any carbs at all. On this dish, because we're doing it for Thanksgiving and we're no longer losing weight, we're just maintaining. So this would be keto friendly. It would also be paleo, if for those of you that are interested in that. And we're gonna do about 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons is the equivalent of 6 teaspoons. So that means all that I put on there, the total amount of carbs for the entire thing I just did. So that would be 3 servings at 8 carbs. So it'd be 24 carbs is the entire amount besides the apples and the sweet potatoes. So depending on how big of a serving you take, you can decide for yourself whether that is something that you want to do. And then after that, we're just gonna take pecans. You can chop these up and put them on top. You can leave them whole. Just kind of depends on what you wanna do and how pretty you want it to look. Just kind of put the canned crumbs on there, around some of these bigger pieces to top. And then we're gonna bake this. Now, because this is a smaller one, we're gonna bake this at 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll check it at 15, just till the apples and sweet potatoes are done. Again, there's no raw ingredients in here that have to be cooked. So per se, this is just things we want to have cooked because of the flavor and everything. So those apples are going to shrink down a little bit. The juices will come out and mix with our butter, be a very create a very nice sauce with that. And again, this is going to be more of a paleo dish. It is keto friendly if you watch your portions, because the apples and the sweet potatoes both do have a little bit of carbs in them, but lots of fiber as well. So make sure you look that up if that's something that you're monitoring. But we all know Thanksgiving, we're gonna, this is way better to do this than the sweet potato casserole, right? So we're gonna put this in the oven, and I will bring you back to show it to you when we're done. Okay, so we have our apples and sweet potatoes out of the oven. I'm gonna lift this up so you can see this a little bit better. So this is all done. They got nice and brown, and our pecans browned really nicely on top, and you can see there's a nice broth in there that's mixed in with the apples. And again, this is a very small, just show you compared to my hand, like this is about a 6-inch by 4-inch glass pan. So you absolutely can, it's about 1 apple and about a half a sweet potato. You can easily double or triple that. I normally do it in a big glass pan for dinner. But this is just to show you guys how to make it, and it's just my husband and I, so this is really all we need. We end up using these small pans a lot for just the 2 of us. So if it is just the 2 of you or 3 of you, or maybe it's a dish that maybe just you like, or maybe your kids like, and not everybody's gonna eat, this is another great way to not make a big batch of something. Also, if you don't like as much sweet potatoes, don't do it 50-50. Just throw a few in. You like more sweet potatoes, less apple? Alter it that way. Do all apples. It's okay. There is no going wrong with that. You can do all apples, all sweet potatoes, any mixed combination that you want, and all the seasonings and baking it and slicing it up the same will work exactly the same regardless of how you mix your sweet potatoes and apples. I do recommend the Granny Smith apples. They are a little bit tart, and that adds a really nice complement to the sweet. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this dish as a healthier variation of a sweet potato casserole, and here's to your health. Happy Thanksgiving.